Hello everybody, it's Serafina and I'm here with your daily tarot insight. So before we begin, I would like to call upon the spirit of the universe that loves us unconditionally. I would like to call upon the spirits of this land, of this island, and of this ocean, and I thank them for holding this space and for their ancient wisdom. And I would like to call upon my guides, archangels, ancestors, my team of light, and my higher self. And I thank them for their presence and guidance with this collective reading. Okay, so beloved spirit of the universe, what loving guidance is there for the collective today? What loving guidance is there for the collective today? We have the King of Cups. What further guidance is there for, too many came out. I'm going to reshuffle. So with the King of Cups, what I'm seeing or what I felt automatically when I saw it was just like emotional balance was what came to mind. Just like being able to navigate tumultuous waters. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Ace of Wands. What further guidance is there for the collective today? Whoa. We have the Queen of Swords. What further guidance is there for the collective today? Whoa. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Four of Swords. And I feel like picking one more. What further guidance? Okay. We have the Two of Cups. Okay. Interesting that we get the Two of Cups again. So today's oracle, I would like to choose from the Animal Oracle. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Phoenix. And to complement, I would like to choose from this one, which is a really good one for like self-care. What further guidance is there from Spirit for the collective? Divine patience. My soul brings forth the right conditions and opportunities for me. The best answers and solutions are delivered at the best times. So again, this is making me feel very watery, very emotional. But we have also a lot of fiery elements here. So I want to read from the Phoenix before I get into it. Freedom from suffering and past karma, reincarnation. The Phoenix represents the transformation of our past. It doesn't mean running from it, denying it, or burning bridges with rage. The Phoenix employs an advanced technique described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practice and dedication. The essence of the Phoenix is within us when we realize that we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by an unconscious mind and its long list of fears and aversions. At that very moment, the spark of the Phoenix is lit, and the great bird helps us to burn through our baggage. We no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we have done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and lightness and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smolder, the Phoenix lifts our spirits up, and we begin to recognize ourselves again. We may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Look closely. It's a sign the fire of transformation is upon your wings. And we have that eye there with a new perception. So what was really standing out to me was that the essence of the phoenix is with us when we realize that we have been suffering too long and something that has to change. We stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears. So, so much, I was reflecting the other day of cycles, right? So we have cycles within everything. It's one of nature's languages. We see it in astrology too, the cycles of planets. And then we have cycles within ourselves. And that's what I usually refer to as behavioral patterns, right? So if you've been hearing my videos for a while, I talk a lot about behavioral patterns. And so that's just what I see as cycles. And whether we judge them to be right or wrong is really up to us and our own discernment. So I feel that a lot of us that are on the path of spirituality or self-development become aware. We become aware of our patterns. And so this is what I feel that the Phoenix is coming to tell us, that, you know, a lot of us are releasing things right now and walking into new things. And it's not about being like this radical change where all of a sudden our life is completely different from one day to the next, or that we're running from things unnecessarily. It's more about just allowing the debris to compost, you know, kind of like the lily, right? Needing all that mud in order to come up. So let's get into the tarot. We're starting off with the King of Cups. The King of Cups, as I mentioned when it came up, I just felt like this emotional stability, this ability to be able, like the lotus flower, to be floating amidst, you know, waters that may have been turbulent at certain times, but finding our own emotional balance within to live life in a way that's more with equanimity, I think the word is. It could also mean a man that is in our life that has strong water signs, or that is artistic, or that's very expressive, very emotive, and uses his emotions in a positive way. Or it could represent that side within us, right? So if we notice here, we have a stag with big antlers, right? And antlers represent like some sort of royalty or majesty. After that, we have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands, this one is quite interesting because it's like this gem, almost like a citrine that's just there glowing in the dark, or, you know, just bringing luminosity. And the way I'm interpreting this is just kind of like having a new spark within us, like being able to kind of like polish that gem, to polish our emotions and the way that we act on them, right? Because the Ace of Wands is a card of action. It's a card of taking action. It's the primal one of fire, right? It's that spark that starts everything. So it's like us being able to be like an alchemist and being able to like hone that fire within our ability to ride the waves. Interestingly enough, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is somebody who is very intellectual, somebody who's good at reading, at writing, at investigating, at researching things. And as I mentioned before, she's really good with boundaries as well. So we could even interpret like these things as boundaries, right? And then we even have a snake, which is another symbol of transformation. Then we have the Four of Swords, which usually comes in as a moment of rest, a time for us to come home and put our swords down, which is all the things that are going in our head, and being able to take a rest, right? Being able to meditate and contemplate before we continue on our trajectory. And, you know, I pulled the last card to clarify, and it's the Two of Cups, which is something that we got yesterday, which is all about relationships, our relationship to ourselves, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and our romantic relationships, our friendships, right? So all in all, what am I interpreting from these cards? I'm interpreting a new phase or a new ability for us to be able to receive, a new ability for us to be able to take life's demands and our relationships and circumstances with ease. And how do we take things with ease? It's by our ability to receive. And so I feel that, you know, along with this card of divine patience, right? It's asking us, my soul brings forth the right conditions and opportunities for me. The best answers and solutions are delivered at the best times. And so it's kind of like trusting that intelligence, that nature has, that when things are meant to be ripe and when things are allowed to come into our life, it's going to be the right time, and forcing things, going against the current, is not appropriate. And what, I'm just receiving this insight now. The phoenix knows exactly about divine patience, right? Even though it's a very fiery and very dynamic, creature, the moment the phoenix chooses to purge, to burn, and to be reborn from the ashes has to be very, very timely, because there's certain lessons that go accumulating around us, and when the energy field is just saturated is when it combusts and we transform into something new, and there's a, like the reading said, there's a new glimmer in our eye. So this is just coming to mind, something that I read the other day, which really inspired me. And basically it describes that the reason why Creator, God, the goddess, wants us to open up and love and open up our heart to love God and to pay reverence to God is not just because it's a narcissistic God. It's because that when we open our hearts to love God and God's children, our loved ones, our family, our romantic partners, each time our heart expands a little bit more. And when our heart expands a little bit more, we are able to receive more love from our surroundings and ultimately from Creator. So again, it's not that God wants us to pay reverence to it just because. There's a plan behind that. The more we open the bandwidth of our heart through going through these relationship dynamics that sometimes can be disappointing, that sometimes can be difficult, right? These Two of Cups situations, which sometimes lead us to moments of rest and moments where we have to put boundaries and make clear-cut decisions and need to communicate well and polish ourselves well, polish our gems, polish ourselves and find this equanimity to be navigating life. Then we are able to receive more. And the love and the abundance of love that comes from Source is infinite. And the more we're able to receive that love, the more at harmony and at peace we are. And the more we can be beacons of light for everybody around us. So I feel that the key word right now is just like ease, right? Us being at ease with things, living in a way that's with equanimity towards everything around us. And knowing that patience is important, to be more like water. And know that things are going to come to fruition when they need to come to fruition. And at the same time, not forgetting this fiery element that's here, that the phoenix is bringing to us, right? This element of transformation. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that the phoenix is heavily associated with Scorpio as well. I'm not sure if it's a phoenix or the eagle, but I don't think it would be that far away to say that the phoenix is associated with Scorpio. So yeah, in general, it's just what I feel is like this ability to navigate the tumultuous waters and be able to polish our gems, to be able to communicate properly, to be able to give ourselves time to rest. And again, the Two of Cups is here. It's all about our dynamics and our relationships and how things are reflecting back to us. Okay, so to finish off, I will pick a card from the White Light Oracle. Beloved Spirit of the Universe, what loving guidance is there for the collective today? What loving guidance is there for the collective today? We have 3-3, Yeshe Tso Yogal 333. So this animal spirit may be speaking to you. Also the number 333. I've personally been seeing it quite a bit this last week actually. And 333 is a number of Ascended Masters. So I'm even feeling inspired to maybe pick a card from the Ascended Masters deck that I just got. But first I'm gonna read this. You shall overcome all obstacles. Success is imminent. So stay connected to your path no matter what and continue to apply yourself. Allow your spiritual path to support you in all areas of your life. Live by your spiritual beliefs. Seek out the support of your spiritual brothers and sisters for help when needed, but also trust that you are intimately and directly connected to the powerful divine light within. There can be a dramatic healing breakthrough when you rely upon your spiritual connection. So maybe some of us are going through some obstacles, and it's saying that success is imminent, and that perhaps there's a call to be able to rely more on our spiritual allies and our spiritual communities if we have them, right? Tiger skin is depicted in sacred iconography to represent fearless enlightenment that cuts through all obstacles. Deities such as Tara and her fierce emanation of Ekajati and her ferocious expression of that wrathful, protected divine feminine. And Wild Lord Shiva are often pictured wearing this skin. The oracle urges empowerment and healing by assuming a confident attitude and taking steps forwards. It indicates that a negative time is drawing to a close and encourages commitment to the task, overcoming negativities through spiritual practices suited for you. The repeated 3 symbolizes that all manner of assistance and support will be granted to ensure your attainment. This will include the gifts of appropriate teachings, teachers, friends, healers, synchronicities, circumstance, and opportunity. So yeah, it's just basically saying reach out, find spiritual community, find like-minded people who you can talk these things through, because lots of us have those in-between moments in the days where we have certain insights, certain spiritual lessons that just come through for us, and it's so important to be able to communicate these things with those people around us, because they can contribute to that thought and help us expand it in some way and help it solidify it within us. So let's see if I find my Ascended Masters deck, or if I lost it somewhere here. Oh no, here it is. So given that we had the 333s, as a bonus, I want to pick 2 Ascended Masters cards. Beloved Ascended Masters, who is present for the collective today? Who would like to come forth for the collective today? We have Krishna. Find the blessings in your current situation. So Krishna is all about devotion. Krishna is, mentioned in various sacred Hindu texts. There's such a movement as like the Krishna consciousness, which is all about elevating your consciousness and polishing your heart, polishing your mind, so that you can be more in the present moment. So maybe a reflection of gratitude would be great for some of us. But mostly what I'm getting from this is devotion. Like, what are you devoted to on a daily basis? What is it? And devotion is such a big word. It's more like, what is important to you and what do you want to cultivate on a daily basis? Or, maybe being devoted to our emotional sanctity and our boundaries, right? So Ascended Masters, who else has a message for the collective today? Who else has a message for the collective today? We have Lakshmi with flow of prosperity. So Lakshmi is also a deity of Hindu tradition, and she is all about us receiving abundance, us being able to receive that. She is also just a great archetype of the Divine Mother. So, funnily enough, in this deck, not all of them are of Hindu tradition. So I find it very interesting that we got Krishna and Lakshmi here. Krishna coming to remind us about devotion and staying in the present moment and gratitude. And then we have Lakshmi, coming to tell us that abundance is around us in many forms, and can we open our eyes to see it? And again, just allowing what doesn't serve us, whatever behavioral patterns, like I mentioned at the beginning, to kind of just crumble and to burn away, and to know that, it takes divine patience. It takes divine patience to be able to know when to act, when to burn, when to combust, when to be patient, when, like the 4 of Swords, to stay calm and know when to retreat to yourself. So this was a very diverse reading. I enjoyed it very much. I hope you did as well. If you enjoyed it, please comment, share, or subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in receiving a personal reading, I can direct you to my personal website. Other than that, I will see you here in a couple of days. Bye.